Students, in our last discussion, we have discussed about the various applications of evaporation, where we have studied about keeping water in the earthen pot, thereby keeping the water cool. Why this water is remaining cool in the earthen pot, that we have discussed. The evaporation, the process of evaporation is helping to keep the water cool. In what way, that I think you have understood. One more example we can give in support to this very our principle of cooling effect of evaporation. One more example we can say, in this hot summer season, there are certain government offices, like some banks also, where they are using one special curtain made up of hay like substance, which in the local language they say that as khas. This thick curtain made up of hay like substance, in this curtain, in the early morning, they throw about bucket full of water. This curtain they use for the doors also and for the windows also, and they are flashing 2 or 3 or 4 buckets full of water against these very curtains, and after that they are blowing air from some fan like devices, so that the air will pass through this very khaskhas, where the water present in those curtains will be compelled to evaporate, and as a result the air which is blown into the rooms, that air will get chilled, will get cooled, and so in the long run the air inside the room and the temperature inside the room slowly and gradually will go down, and people will feel coldness of that very chilling effect, the effect which is happening due to evaporation. So this is one more example which we are telling in support of the cooling effect of evaporation. Now, today we are supposed to start with the very important question: why we wear cotton clothes in summer? What is the reason that we prefer to wear cotton clothes in summer season? Answer is, during summer we perspire profusely, too much in a country like India, where the hotness, the temperature reaches up to 40 or 44 degrees Celsius, and there is too much humidity in the air. Perspiration is obvious fact. Now the sweat draws heat from our body and it evaporates away. This makes us feel cool. The cotton, being a good absorber of water, it absorbs the sweat and exposes it to air. That is why the proper ventilation also occurs, because cotton allows the air to come in, and hence the proper ventilation also takes place, and so evaporation is accelerated, and as a result the sweating process, and due to which your evaporation of water also is accelerated, and we get the cool sensation on our skin. That is why we prefer to wear cotton clothes in summer. Now, the boiling and the boiling point. It should be noted that a liquid boils only when its vapor pressure becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. Now, when a liquid is heated, its vapor pressure gradually increases. When the vapor pressure equals the atmospheric pressure, the liquid begins to boil. The temperature at which the boiling occurs is called the boiling point of that very liquid. If the liquid is boiled in an open vessel, the temperature will remain fixed in an open if the liquid is boiled in an open vessel, the temperature will remain fixed till all of the liquid is converted into vapor. The boiling of the liquid occurs throughout the mass of the liquid, with bubbles coming out from its interior. Now let us see the effect of pressure on the boiling point. The boiling point of a liquid is related to the pressure of the atmosphere. Higher the pressure, higher is the boiling point, and vice versa. As you go up in the air, the pressure of the atmosphere decreases. Why it decreases? Because the density of air as you go up decreases, and so the atmospheric pressure also decreases, and the boiling point of a liquid also decreases. For example, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade at 1 atmospheric pressure. But at very high altitudes, that is on the mountains, the boiling point of water becomes much lower than 100 degrees centigrade. On Mount Everest, water boils at 70 degrees centigrade. So, at high altitudes, you cannot cook rice or pulse easily. This will require more time and more heat. This is a very important question which comes very often. Why it becomes difficult to cook meat at higher altitude? Why it becomes difficult to cook rice or any other thing or pulses at higher altitude? The reason, I think you understood, that at very high altitude, that is that mountain places, the boiling point of water becomes very much lower than 100 degrees centigrade. So on Mount Everest or Kanchenjunga or those kind of hilly area of Himalayan belt, water boils more or less at about 70 degrees centigrade. That is why at higher altitudes you cannot cook rice or pulse that much easily, which we can do at the sea level. This, as you are understanding, is requiring more time, more heat. Okay. Now, the effect of impurity on the boiling point. The term impurity means that any foreign substance is added to a pure liquid. The presence of non-volatile substances as an impurity in the liquid raises the boiling point of a liquid. Clear? So this can be the effect of impurity on the boiling point. I am leaving one question for you all. Try to think that very often you will see the street hawkers who are pulling the ice cream trolley. At the beginning, in the morning, when they are putting all the types of ice creams in their ice cream box, they are first of all keeping ice, ordinary ice, mixed up with normal ordinary sodium chloride salt, table salt. Question arises, why? Try to think about this very question. I think you will find out the answer. Now, let us discuss about the difference between evaporation and boiling. What are the differences between evaporation and boiling? Evaporation is spontaneous process occurring at all temperature. There is no fixed point for evaporation, but boiling occurs at a particular temperature called the boiling point of the liquid. Okay. Now, for evaporation, the second point is that evaporation occurs only at the surface of the liquid. That also we have mentioned while discussing about the various points, various factors on which the rate of evaporation depends. There we said the more the surface area that we can provide for evaporation, more effective will be the rate of evaporation. As a result, as an example, we have given you the example of pouring hot tea or any other hot drink like Complan or Viva from a cup into a dish. Whenever you are trying to have the hot cup of tea from a cup, you are feeling more hot and the hotness is retained for more amount of time. But the moment you are pouring that hot cup of tea into a flat disc, the liquid tea becomes cool within no time. The reason we have already explained. So, once more we are telling that evaporation occurs at the surface of the liquid. But boiling, on the other hand, occurs throughout the mass of the liquid with the formation of bubbles. So this is about boiling. Throughout the mass of the liquid, boiling will take place, will occur. In evaporation, evaporation causes the cooling effect that we are telling repeatedly. But in boiling, it does not produce any cooling effect. Boiling do not produce any cooling effect. So that these three are the differences between boiling and evaporation. Now, students, we have come to an end of the discussion about liquid. So let us start little bit about the gaseous state of matter. In gases, the intermolecular force are so weak and the intermolecular space is so large that the particles become completely free to move randomly in the entire available space. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind while we are discussing about the properties of gases. This you have to keep in mind. Once more I am repeating that in gases the intermolecular force are so weak and the intermolecular space is so large that the particle becomes completely free to move randomly in the entire available space. Now, let us come into the general properties of gas. First parameter again what we want to consider is shape and volume. A gas has neither a definite shape nor a definite volume. Gas takes the shape and volume of the vessel in which it is kept. It occupies all the available space in the vessel because the particles can freely move throughout the space. Now next is density. The density of gas is lower than those of solids and liquids. The reason is very easy to understand for you all, as because we already have acknowledged that the particles of gas are densely populated, are sparsely populated, automatically the density will be lower in comparison to that of solids and liquids. Next is melting and the boiling points. At normal atmospheric pressure, the melting and boiling points of a gas are below room temperature. They are lower than those of solids and liquids. Next is compressibility. Compressibility, if we consider of gas, compressibility of gas is very high. The intermolecular space in a gas being large, the particles can be made to come much closer together under pressure. That is why a large amount of air can be pumped into the small volume of a cycle tube or a football bladder. Regarding this point, let us perform one activity. Let us take a 10 ml syringe and the nozzle of the syringe is closed by inserting into it a rubber cork. The plunger fitted in the syringe is taken out so that the entire space inside the syringe may be occupied by air. Now, the plunger is inserted into the syringe. Before doing so, it has to be ascertained that the plunger has no leakage from the side of the syringe. To be sure, a little amount of Vaseline may be applied upon the plunger. The plunger is now pushed into the syringe. You will notice that the air inside the syringe is being compressed. That is, the volume of air inside the syringe decreases. This shows that air is compressible. This activity, this experiment, is repeated by taking water in place of air in the syringe. In this case, the plunger cannot be pushed into the syringe. What will it prove? This proves that pressure does not produce any effect upon the water that is liquid. That is, water is incompressible. The property of compressibility of gas is made use of in storing fuel gases in cylinders. Butane is called a petroleum gas as it is obtained from petroleum refineries. Butane has been found to be an efficient domestic fuel. It is liquefied under pressure, packed in cylinders and made available for usage as LPG gas, liquid petroleum gas. Oxygen supplied in hospitals in cylinders is another example of compressed gas. So is compressed natural gas, CNG, the fuel which is now increasingly being used in various vehicles. So all these gases are compressed and they are introduced in the cylinder. It is only becoming possible because these gases are compressible gas. So compressibility of gas is now very easily understood, I think. So this is about compressibility. We are left out with few more properties of gas, like the effect of heating and cooling over gas, the diffusion rate, the rate of diffusion in gases, the condensation which takes place in gases, and finally the pressure that can be exerted over gas. All these things we'll discuss in the next discussion. For today, I think we have discussed a lot. We have discussed about the difference in evaporation and boiling. We have discussed about some properties of gases like your shape and volume, like density, like melting and boiling point, like compressibility. So this much is enough for today. In the next part, we'll continue our discussion. Till then, goodbye.